Hi everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It's Friday, February 8th. Happy Friday. Hope you're excited for the weekend. Have some news to share here with you guys. And of course, this is not financial or investment advice. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Also, thumbs up. Now, today we're seeing the market is pumping. Bitcoin over 3,500 again. XRP over 30 cents. Currently actually over 31 cents, Ethereum over 120. But the big story today is actually Litecoin. Litecoin is holding the number 4th spot, so it jumped. It is currently over $41. It is up 25.68% from a 24-hour perspective, so near 26%, a big jump. So why is this happening? And of course the market's rallying behind Litecoin. Here's the news. Litecoin Foundation and Beam partner to explore new protocol. Litecoin price soars near 30%. So the Litecoin Foundation has partnered with software development firm Beam to explore the implementation of a new protocol that would improve privacy and scalability. The news has reported in a Beam Medium blog post February 7th. The new protocol, dubbed Mimblewimble, very interesting name, a fictional tongue-tying curse from the popular Harry Potter novels, is reportedly being tested for the use in conjunction with the scalability solution extension blocks. Here's a quote from the blog. We have started exploration towards adding privacy and fungibility to Litecoin by allowing on-chain conversion of regular Litecoin into a Mimblewimble variant of Litecoin and vice versa. Upon such conversion, it will be possible to transact with Mimblewimble Litecoin in complete confidentiality. Now, this is very interesting, bringing privacy and obviously some scalability solutions to Litecoin, which is actually great. And we know that Litecoin needs to scale a bit more. The transactions, even though better than Bitcoin, is still low. From if you're thinking about a real world adoption, and you think about the other solutions that are out there from a fiat perspective, it's obviously still not up to par. Just even like, for example, with Stellar Lumens or XRP, right? From a transaction perspective, how fast is it? Now, the cool thing is it's going to add some privacy. So looks like some progress being made here. As many of you know, I hold Litecoin in my portfolio, and even though I was very disappointed with what Charlie Lee did back in early 2018, where he dumped on the market, he sold all his Litecoin. It looks like at least his promise that the Litecoin Foundation will be moving things ahead without him. Now, he's still involved to a certain degree, but it's more of the foundation versus Charlie Lee. But Litecoin has been making a push. I have to give credit where credit's due. We saw them do some marketing with the UFC when there was a UFC match, getting a lot of exposure, being named by the announcer at the match as the official cryptocurrency of the UFC. So kudos to them for doing this, and it looks like they're trying to make some progress here. Now, I didn't dump my Litecoin. I know a lot of people got scared and dumped it because I still believe that Litecoin is like the silver to Bitcoin's gold, right? And I believe that it would have like, a kind of a trickle down effect from Bitcoin to Litecoin, and it would pump up and I could still make money off of it. So that's why I personally didn't dump my Litecoin. I kept it, even though I was pissed off at Charlie Lee. But this is some good progress for Litecoin. So those of you holding Litecoin, it looks like things are being turned around here. Now, also, we had some news from CoinGate. If you recall, they just actually opened up their service for XRP. Well, they said, they tweeted this today. Great news. We are finally enabling Litecoin Lightning Network payments to all our 4,500 merchants. So feel free to use Lightning Network for making purchases online or accept Litecoin Lightning payments for your business. So it looks like some movements being made here for Litecoin, which is great. We always like to see progress. I'm about facts. I'm not about, it's not about my emotions or religious following to crypto. You guys know that if you've been subscribed, and I will highlight things that are make sense logically from a business standpoint and is showing real world progress and adoption, guys. So shout out to the folks at the Litecoin Foundation, and I'm happy I held on to my Litecoin, even though like I said, I wasn't happy what Charlie did last year. Now, we have some Bakkt news, guys. So as you know, Bakkt is owned by the Intercontinental Exchange, which owns the New York Stock Exchange. So it is really very unique, the fact that it's backed by this giant super parent company of the ICE, right? And it has close ties to the New York Stock Exchange. Well, the owner, which is here Jeff Sprecher, who's the CEO of ICE, apparently on a call today, a conference call to discuss ICE fourth quarter earnings, which many companies have, usually public companies, right, where they have a meeting with their stock holders to discuss the financials and all that. Here's what he said. He made the following remarks regarding Bakkt. It's a bit of a moonshot bet, and it's being organized in a manner that is very different than the way ICE typically does business. Bakkt has its own offices, its own management team, etc. They're well along in building out an infrastructure that I think you'll see launch later this year. So we know Bakkt has been delayed because of the CFTC. They're still waiting on CFTC approval. Even ErisX will have to get CFTC approval. So it's nothing that they're doing. I think they're ready to go, but it's just the government. And same thing we see with the SEC and the Bitcoin ETF, right? And even the Token Taxonomy Act. So this is great to hear this from the CEO of ICE. Once again, this is no joke. This company owns the New York Stock Exchange and other markets. So very big company here, a lot of money. So there's big things happening behind the scenes. So this is a great update. We also saw Bakkt tweeted the following today, guys. With today's closing of our transaction with Rosenthal Collins Group, we welcome great new team members to Bakkt. RCG's remarkable heritage, culture, and expertise will help us build out a trusted institutional infrastructure for digital assets. So we know what their goal is and what to build. And if you recall, January 14th, they said, hey, we have our first acquisition taking place. Well, today, it was the transaction of that acquisition was completed. So they bought certain assets and infrastructure and things from the Rosenthal Collins Group, which is an independent futures commission merchant with nearly 100 years of earning clients' interest. So very smart move on their part, buying that infrastructure, that technology, and different assets to further build out what they're doing. So people who go around saying crypto's dead or it's fake internet money many of them don't see past the headlines, and they don't see this type of things happening. So count yourself lucky that you do. Real investments are being made by the Wall Streeters, the corporations, and as usual, guys, in these scenarios, you see the big money, the smart money's making moves, and the majority of the public is not aware. And when they do become aware, it's many times too late, where they can't really get in to make significant profit, right? It's very much the same with a lot of other companies and stock exchanges and so forth. But like I said, we're very early. We're pretty much like the guys who were aware of the internet and different companies launching and got an opportunity to invest in them, like in the 90s, like Google, Amazon, eBay. We can make that analogy or liken it to that, and that's where we're at. That's how early we are, guys. So also here we got news from the block. This was reported that Bakkt makes another series of hires ahead of launch. So let's see. Erik Haas, I hope I pronounced that correctly, has joined from ICE as a Director of Compliance, and Rachel Ford has been appointed Bakkt Strategic Operations Manager, leaving her role at Techstars. Haas spent 9 years heading the regulation department at ICE, Bakkt's parent exchange. So they are making acquisitions, building out their services, and hiring. Now, would you be doing that to lose money, to make these investments in a dying market? No, guys, it's not a dying market. We're just in a bear market. This is a new asset class, very early. We're still waiting for some government clarity and regulation clarity, and then it's going to take off. So I hope you see the bigger picture there. Now, speaking of investments and big money doing big things, official launch of ORTUS, Bithumb's global OTC desk, over-the-counter trading desk. So Bithumb, obviously a crypto trading exchange, has launched an OTC desk. Why? They're getting demand from institutions, because a lot of these folks are buying over-the-counter, and that's why we haven't been seeing it on the exchanges or in the market, right? And that's why even though the market's been in a bear mode, Circle, Cumberland, and all these companies that have OTC desks have been seeing record volumes year over year growth. Like, it's ridiculous how much. I think I believe, was it Circle that said they traded near $1 billion in volume last year through their OTC. So the facts are here. They're not making the big CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg headlines. So the general public is just going about. Many don't even know what OTC means, right? Or how it works. So as I said, count yourself lucky that you do understand what's happening here. Bithumb Global Limited, a Hong Kong-based entity, announced an official launch of its block deal, matchmaking service catering to institutional clients under the ORTUS brand. Institutions will undergo a strict onboarding process whereby sufficient KYC AML documentation must be supplied by applicants. Institutions trading digital assets need to open accounts at exchanges and OTC desks around the world. However, there is no real solution for an aggregate liquidity provider or a trusted interdealer where institutions can trade these assets. To fill the gap, ORTUS will operate to allow institutions to buy and sell digital assets through a network global liquidity providers and benefit from competitive and best price execution service. So, setting up the foundation, right? The on ramps for big money, guys. This is great news for us holding right now in the early days. Now, Noble Bank employees, former Nasdaq Futures CEO, flock to Puerto Rico crypto firm as it gets ready to launch. Now look at that, guys. Bank and former Wall Street Stock Exchange employees flocking to a crypto firm. It goes back to my question, and the reason why I asked you is for you to think from a business standpoint, because you got to think about these people. At the end of the day, they want to make money. They have their bills to pay. They have their lives to live, right? Everybody, to a certain degree, is motivated by money. They want to have that security. They want to live a better life. So I always ask you guys, think about it, not just from a crypto, but a business standpoint. The reason they're doing this is because we are very early and this thing is going to take off. So let me give you the details. San Juan Mercantile Exchange, a firm led by former NYMEX President Bo Collins, is set to launch later this year. The firm, which is aiming to provide trading and custody services for crypto, is staffed heavily by former employees of Noble Bank. The firm also hired former CEO of Nasdaq's Future Business. So look at that. Wall Street bankers and all these guys getting into crypto. It's amazing to watch this to play out. The block can now report that a number of former employees have found their way to a little-known Puerto Rico crypto firm. So I personally haven't heard about them. Mercantile Global Holdings, which operates an exchange and banking business for digital assets. So, and you may be wondering, why Puerto Rico? Many of you may not have heard about a lot of the crypto folks, people who became rich. And I remember reading this in a New York Times article, like became rich off of Ethereum and Bitcoin and so forth. A lot of them went to Puerto Rico because of the tax, as a bit of a tax haven, where they could set up shop and do some things there. So you can research that, by the way, guys. And I think it's a New York Times article where it says everybody's getting rich off of crypto and you're not. It's something like that. I remember my mom actually shared that with me, or actually it wasn't my wife, probably both. I think they both saw it, but it speaks to the money and the things that are getting ready to launch, guys. And people are getting ready to put a takeoff of this market. Now, some progress being made in New Hampshire. Crypto tax bill clears first hurdle in New Hampshire Legislature. A proposed law in New Hampshire would allow residents to pay their taxes with cryptocurrency seeing some early traction. Now, we talked about this maybe like a few weeks ago or a month ago. Well, it says House Bill 470, which would allow state level agencies to accept cryptocurrencies for payment, if approved, cleared its first minor hurdle last week by being passed unanimously by a subcommittee on the House Executive Departments and Administrative Committee. Now, we're seeing more and more states in the U.S. doing this. We know Ohio was the leader in that. They started accepting Bitcoin from businesses to pay their tax revenue. They're going to open it up to residents. If you guys recall, that's where Warren Davidson, the guy behind the Token Taxonomy Act, that's his state that he represents. They created like a website, Ohio Bitcoin or OhioCrypto.com. You can go pay your taxes with that. This is great. This is going to push crypto into the mainstream more, get people to start thinking about it, investing in it. Big win. Obviously, it still has to go a bit further to get completely approved, but it's cleared its first hurdle. Now, crypto's global, as we always talk about. Mauritius regulators to approve digital asset custodian licensing framework. When I first read this headline, I was like, what, who, and where is Mauritius? I have no idea what is it. So I looked it up. It is a country in East Africa. So it looks like it says Mauritius, an Indian Ocean island nation, is known for its beaches, lagoons, and reefs, and so forth and so forth. So I didn't even know about it, guys. But it says it's part of, from a continent perspective, even though it's in the Indian Ocean, it's a property, part of the African continent, guys. So interesting, very interesting indeed. Let me give you the details. The Mauritian Financial Services Commission, FSC, is establishing a regulatory framework for digital asset custodian services, according to an official announcement published on February 8th. The new regulation will be effective as of March 1st and will require custodian services to comply with the applicable framework for anti-money laundering and combat financing terrorism in line with international best practices. So, as we talked about, watch what the government's doing and watch what big money is doing. We're seeing governments around the world, even though it's moving a bit slow than we like, are setting up the regulation and the framework and the guardrails, right? Like, yeah, you can do what you got to do with crypto custodian trading services, but here are the rules. That's great. This is such a great sign. And a lot of these smaller countries are kind of tax havens, and they really cater to the rich because, they don't have a big economy. So they have low taxes and they allow a lot of money to come in. So this looks like one of those countries, the fact that they're trying to do this. So according to the statement, this framework has been developed following consultations with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development on the governance and regulation of digital financial assets such as cryptocurrencies. So great move by this country here. And, it starts small with these smaller ones. And we're obviously in the United States here. We're still waiting on that Token Taxonomy Act and some of these other bills. But it's at least progress being made. It's in the works. And I think soon enough, we'll see a lot of different countries just start to be more crypto friendly and putting out, regulations that won't kill it, but will protect consumers and help it to grow and flourish. And we have to be patient, and I think we will be rewarded for our patience, guys. Now, you guys recall Quadriga CX, right? With the whole nonsense there with some people are saying the owner didn't die. So the report was that he did die, and he was the only one who had access to the cold storage, where all like $190 million of crypto would be lost forever. But Canadian securities regulators looking into what's going on with this exchange. So obviously this making headlines. I think the folks there in Canada are going to look at it. So I just want to let you guys know that that's happening. So maybe some of you are in Canada. Maybe there's hope for you to recoup your investment, your money. And as I always say, take your crypto off the exchanges, put it on a Ledger Nano SX or a Trezor hardware wallet, just so you have it on you and you can put it in a safe or whatever, right? But at least it's not at risk on an exchange. Now, if you absolutely have to keep it on an exchange, make sure that you keep it with a reputable exchange that's like, as much as I hate Coinbase and they're annoying, like your Coinbase or your Binance or Bittrex, right? They're well known, have a different setups. They're accessible. You know who the CEO is. You see interactions from them. So they have a public persona, or they have some public accountability, and they're well known, and they have maybe some level of insurance. They have good security, right? But even so, if you leave it on there, make sure you have two-factor authentication, both on your email that you're using for the login, as well as on the exchange. a very complicated password, so it's not, you can't be easily hacked. So those are some things you need to think about, guys. And but the safest way is absolutely the hardware wallet, and that's what I personally use. And it just gives you peace of mind that these potential millions of dollars that, or hundreds of thousands or to millions, is in your, it's on you, in a sense that it's more secure because it's on that device that you have control of. So guys, what do you think about this news? Like I said, good to see green here, but let's let it play out. This could be a pump and dump. We've seen this before, so don't get emotional about the prices, especially if it goes up or it goes down. Don't get emotional. Look at it from a factual standpoint, because a lot of manipulation can be happening here. We want to see, let this movement prove itself. Let it go over a few weeks, and let's see some support levels. Let's see some steady growth here. And I think it's just a matter of being patient, and I think this new asset class is going to take off. So guys, leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Please help share my channel and this video with your friends and family. Also, if you want to support the channel by offering a tip or whatever it is, check out my Patreon group link below. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll talk to you all later.